Latinos for America First. So thank you very much. Will Johnson is here today as well. Thank you very much for participating, all of you that came from different counties to be with us. We have several organizations represented as well, and you'll get to meet those speakers. It is very important that we get together like this because there is a dire problem in some of our public schools, in some of our school districts. And Leander ISD is unfortunately one of those that is just infamously known. And they are what I consider just harms against children, and those children are mine included. And if I've ever spoken up, even for my own kids, it's been attack after attack. And I will never be participative with the curriculum that has obscenities. There's some children in the room right now. And we can do something about it, and we will continue to speak up no matter how many times they try to silence us. I have also been thrown out of a school board meeting in September of 2021. And when we are silenced as parents, as those that want to protect children, we just need to elevate our voices and follow a chain of command. So without further ado, because we're headed over to the school board meeting right after, I will have Ms. Watson come and speak to y'all.
Good evening. My name is Marcia Watson, Executive Director here in Williamson County of Citizens Defending Freedom. And that's what we do. We show up, we stand up, and we speak up about freedom. And our freedoms are being compromised right now here in Williamson County and in Travis County, where this school district spans. Most of you have heard us speak before behind the podium at the school board meetings. Way back, many people here spoke out against unconstitutional masks, COVID rules. We started having discussions with the school board way back then, and we haven't stopped. We still stand up, we still show up, and we still speak up. We focus here in our county with election integrity, with education, parental rights, and we follow dark money into our county. Dark money that is funding PACs, working to help elect people that have an agenda. We are exposing that. We use Matthew 18, which is the Bible tells us how to deal with conflict. We use that Matthew 18 to deal with that conflict. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have 4 phases to it. We inform, we give them a right to change it. If they do not, we bring the media. If that does not work, we litigate. Thank you very much.
Texas Education 911 has put out a campaign to protect children. It's called Champion a Child, and each senator received a story, but it's not a story, it's an actual incident, an actual harm that children in Leander ISD have experienced. So I'll read a couple between the speakers. 7th grade English teacher requires Lizzie and her classmates to create 2 social media accounts. The teacher encourages them to set up one of the 2 on Tinder, which is an adult dating app. All of this is done without parental permission. Leander ISD administration claims it was not a real assignment, just a make-believe activity. District refuses to turn over the lesson plans 1 week in advance so that the parent can approve lessons or choose to exempt Lizzie from a particular lesson, as the law permits. Leander ISD claims that they do not know, they don't do the lesson plans, and therefore they cannot release any. I was the pro bono education advocate with this family, and district personnel told me that they have no control over what the teacher gives as an assessment. This was an actual assessment. That is like an end of a unit assignment. Now we will have Mr. Connors.
Good evening. My name is Bill Connors, and I'm a former CPA with 35 years of experience, and that experience includes auditing school districts. Currently, I'm serving on the Bond Oversight Committee and have served on the CFAC. I've lived in this district for over 30 years, or about 30 years, and have seen 3 children through it. The board will begin consideration of the tax rate today, but the publicly available documents say nothing about the actual tax dollars. Rates mean very little to the average taxpayer. What matters is the size of the check that they cut every year. Local tax dollars for last year increased from 290 million to almost 400 million. This year, they will increase tax dollars another 30 million. If the rate keeps going down, why do tax dollars keep going up? Even with those massive increases, spending increases even more. They plan for a deficit of $6.5 million in this school year. In fact, their budget presentations from earlier in the year project deficits for the next 4 years. How long can they overspend before they need to raise taxes yet again? And the next question is, where is the money going? It is not readily available to the public, just high-level reports with very little detail. When Perla recently requested public information, they responded to say that the information will cost her around $300. We're already paying for the staff. Why can't we get simple public information about how the money is going to be spent? Yet, even with all those tax dollars, they can't help our teachers and staff keep up with inflation. Recent pay increases fall short of the historic levels of inflation. Where is the consideration and respect for the people that work directly with our kids every day? I recently met a teacher working at a local brewery. She could here without a second job. So she takes shifts in the evenings and the weekend. They forced custodians to work during the summer without air conditioning. In a recent news article, a 77-year-old custodian who has served our kids for 18 years said, "We need to have the air." Of course she does. Don't they deserve living wages and good working conditions? Isn't it time that this board exercised a little financial discipline and to make sure that the people who serve our children get what they need to do their jobs? I believe that a person's character is revealed by the way they treat those who work for them. They may present a good public image, but how they treat those with less power tells you who they really are. The casual disregard for teachers and staff tells us where their priorities are. So when we hear about the absolutely rude, disrespectful, and bullying behavior of one trustee to another, when we hear that other trustees join in laughter and derision, when we hear that those responsible for stopping that behavior heard nothing for a full 10 minutes, it tells you all you need to know. Thank you.
Another student.
Lynette, a minor was searched in the bathroom, including under her bra, by 2 district staff without parental notification or consent. Parent was not notified even after the search. Lynette was subjected to multiple subsequent searches. Leander ISD has produced no evidence or explanation for any of the searches. All searches have produced nothing of note. District is claiming that Lynette is lying to her mom about the searches. All communication from the district to this single mom now includes district legal counsel. This single mom feels targeted and retaliated against.
Mr. Prater.
Good evening. My name is Gerald Prater, and I'm here to talk about, I want to cover 3 quick topics of why what's happening in this school district violates everything that's good, true, and just. What we had experienced with our representative Paul at the end of last year was a violation of a key principle of our Constitution. Elected officials are elected to represent everyone. For over a year, since Mr. Gauthier was elected, I go to just about every meeting, and what I witness almost all the time, constantly, is attacks on him, which they don't understand. They're attacking us. This is a basic principle of the oath that you take. It's not to who you like. It's not to who you agree with. It's to represent everyone, all the people. That's wrong. Number two, the second point, really quick, with what happened on May 25th and their attempts to cover it up using the closed meeting thing. The closed meeting thing is used to protect sensitive personal information, to protect investigate or decisions that involve sensitive matters. They are not meant to protect misconduct.
That's right.
This is illegal. This is not just. It's not right. And then finally, it's really ironic tonight as I go in to speak at this meeting again, that item number 6A1 on the agenda is an item where they're going to discuss the code of student conduct. I find that very ironic because this is my closing point, and I think the most important point. These are people who represent examples to my children. What kind of example is that? What kind of example is that in any reputable business? What would that kind of behavior be paid with? Censure, resignation if honor is there. But I do not want this as an example for my children. And as I close out, another example is as I mentioned, I speak at just about every board. When I go to these board meetings and speak, I always speak to say, this is what I don't want for my children. I never go and say, I don't want you to do something in your life, or I don't want this for my children. And I get attacked. When I look at what happened here with Mr. Gautier, same thing. There is no arguing about, well, I want to discuss this topic. No, it's a personal attack. That's what people who don't have an argument use. Thank you.
We do have a problem with violence in our schools and nothing being done about it. We have a problem with everything being covered up, including my own children having to be in class and they pick up their phone and they see videos being made in the school bathroom with two young boys doing acts with a third one, videotaping it and then submitting it through the school's Wi-Fi. These are things that the school board ignores time and time again. And what they'd rather do is move the meetings like they did today to try to silence us. Now we have Ms. Farnsley.
Hi, I'm Melissa Fordsley. My daughter is the one that brought to light at the school board meeting with a young man masturbating in various places, causing girls to leave school and being traumatized by this event, and parents giving their thank you. The incident reports. However, in the Leander ISD, the incident reports don't have carbon copies. So you give them the report and then it goes away. So parents keep coming back to help their daughters through this incident, and they just look like they're crazy because there is no incident report. After my daughter had given her remarks, she was pulled aside by the assistant superintendent over the Glen High School, and she didn't know about this, and she should have been aware about it the first time. And this had been going on for at least a week with 4 different girls over the parent Facebook page. And later they came back and said it was just a single incident, there's no incident reports, and that we needed more proof. So there's a big cover up with the administration of the Glen High School in incidents that are happening. Violence is incited. My daughters tell me of the videos that are being taken, and the administrators are not there. There are no teachers or administrators in place when these fights happen. So a lot of the fights we don't even know about as parents that are happening, but the kids know about it. There was a video going around of the young men through Snapchat. The kids know about it. But if they're caught with that on their phone, then they will be charged for child pornography. So there's no protection of our students. And I'm really frustrated because we do need a code of conduct, and that is being voted on tonight. And I'll be really sad because then there's no rules or governing of what is going on in the school and within the district. Thank you.
She is correct. Before the incident with her daughter, who was so brave and spoke for an entire school. My kids go to the same high school or graduated from. They first started at Leander Middle School and then ended up graduating, and I have one at Tom Glen High School, which is a state-of-the-art facility. We should be meeting there instead. But when I helped the parent and the family that I'm about to read to you as the third case for Champion a Child, there were no incident reports being made. I took my educational law book with me to represent this parent with the administrator, the principal, and the associate principal. And the very first question that I had, because this child was so severely beaten, was, where is the incident report? I said, well, we don't do those. Magically, the next day, they wanted the student, without the parent preferably, to fill out this incident report, and it's just a generic form. These are education codes, laws, Title IX laws, whatever it is, the district just does not listen to us, and much less our kids. So our kids are screaming for help, and we are here for them. Lori is beaten to a pulp in the bus loading zone. Beaten so badly, she needed an ambulance assistance and hospitalization. She was picked up by the ambulance. No adults were present, and allegedly no cameras. Leander ISD filed no incident report as required by law, allowing serious violence to be covered up. Schools know reporting violence affects accountability ratings. Lori's parent requested all high school incident reports over an 18-month period, and Leander ISD wants to charge $9,000 to produce the documents. Lawmakers rely on ISD testimony and reputation, but parents know the truth about the ISDs and the legal tricks and loopholes they use to avoid these very same lawmakers' laws. There needs to be a correction made in this incident. I participated as the parent and family's pro bono advocate, and I placed the PIR for incidents between a certain time period. They included her brave daughter's claims, and the evidence is there, believe me, of students masturbating in the hallways and classes, and no administrators willing to step up. The district wants to charge me $9,000 for those incident reports. I don't even know if they exist, honestly. But time and time again, that is how we are treated. We have no voice, and we escalate. Now we will have Mr. Story come up here, please.
Hello. As a pastor, as a chaplain of the Republican Party of Texas, and as a parent, and as someone who has had to literally sue a school district presently in federal court for falsely a school board arresting under false pretenses, which was just decided last week that those offenses were colorable by the school district and will proceed to trial. I see time and time again that school boards, certain members of school boards, are accusing parents as being the problem. I have a message to Leander ISD tonight. Leander ISD board, those of you who think that it's more appropriate to talk about people's parts, their private parts, than to deal with real student issues, parents do not co-parent with the school district. We did not sign up for that. You are not empowered to do that. Public education was not set up for that. We are not here to co-parent with you. You are educators. You're a board that is to see over education, not to parent our children. The parents are not the problem in this district. The conversations inside a private school board meeting, which were inappropriately violating the Open Meetings Act, to talk about another school board member's body parts, That is inappropriate. If any student in this district chose to go through those similar type of actions, a closed door meeting to talk about another student's body parts, or let alone a teacher's body parts, private parts, that student would probably be suspended. However, in this district, it's okay for school board members to privately argue about and make fun of Mr. Gauthier's parts, and I'm just going to call a spade instead of debating true policy, which is why the topic tonight is the fact that parents are not the problem here. The school board's irresponsible decisions and cover-up are. This school district has over $1 billion in school bond debt, some of the largest in our state per capita. And what are they doing tonight? Spending more money by moving us to here, further south in the district, at a $5,000 plus per cost per night, when they have many other locations in their own district where they could do this. Why are they not doing that in one of their own buildings? I'll tell you why. Because they don't want accountability. They want to be in a place where they can hide from the public. These people behind me have been reporting to school police officers, to Williamson County officers, and to officials in Williamson County for quite a while. And this school board thinks that rather than face that accountability, they'd rather run into Travis County, where they will not be prosecuted by the Travis County DA, who has a problem prosecuting anything, and the Travis County Sheriff. And that is why we are here, so that this school board can hide further. Now, they will tell you it's to spread things out throughout the district, but I find it interesting that the day they're talking about a tax increase is the day we show up into this room. And the day where they're increasingly being held accountable today for board members literally privately aggressing against one another through what would be termed anywhere else as sexual harassment. So in Leander ISD, apparently if you get elected, then you get free will, apparently, as some of these board members, to engage in sexual harassment against Paul Gauthier here on the board. My friends, at Leander ISD, that is illegal. You not only deserve to be sued, and you will be if you continue, but you deserve to go to jail. Because that is what would happen in any other situation where someone sexually assaults or sexually harasses someone else. And that is exactly what has happened here on the Leander School Board. Certain school board members have literally sexually harassed Paul Gauthier in private meetings, not in an effort to do anything other than to dispute with him because they don't agree with his policy. If you want to debate policy, we'll show up. If you want to debate his private parts, go find someplace else to do it and get off this board. That's my word to you today. Thank you.
No amount of incident reports, no amount of parent advocacy has enabled or motivated, I should say, the school district to do right by our students. And we're talking about a school district that's over 200 square miles wide and population, and over 43,000 students. So these are our precious children, and we are calling on the public. We are calling on the over 9 state representatives and senators that represent Leander ISD. We're calling on our lieutenant governor and our governor to help us, continue helping us. There have been executive orders sent to Leander ISD, no compliance. There have been letters sent by the governor requesting for investigations concerning the pornographic material. I was saying earlier that a district administrator told me that for equity purposes, they gave a $500 gift card to every English teacher so that they could each have a classroom library for equity purposes, to half price books. And so when you have that amount of books on top of the 600,000 plus invoice purchase of books that are anything from Lawn Boy to just horrific depictions. There's one that's very anti-Christian. I believe it's Kiss Number 8. And you have a coalition of these teachers from Tom Glen High School go on all the media, KVU, and cry about these parents, these students. Well, they need to see these books. They need to see cartoons. These books don't even have words in them. So this is just a violation. It's a continuous abuse of power. And again, we demand that our district go back to the basics to teach our children English, math, science, civics, to keep all of their ideologies out as they've been getting away with. And I may have a parent talk about one of the teachers there. Okay, yes. We'll have Ms. Slake come speak. Yes, sir, we're here with you. Can you hear us?
Yes, who is that speaking?
This is Perla Hopkins.
Marcia's here too, sir.
Okay, hi.
Let me tell the public, introduce you, sir. This is Attorney Stuart Baggish. He represents Trustee Gautier, and he'd like to say a few words.
It's my understanding that some are concerned, perhaps, that the complaint that was filed by Leander ISD board member Paul Gautier has not been attended to by the Leander ISD Board of Trustees, and we're hopeful that it will be attended to tonight. If it is not, if it is still being ignored now almost 2 months after the complaint has been filed, we are going to take the position that our administrative remedies have been exhausted with the Leander ISD administrative course. A complaint has previously been made with the Leander Police Department. A complaint was submitted to the Texas Education Agency, and both of those avenues of relief have declined to involve themselves in the matter, even though it's fairly clear that there is a legitimate allegation of criminal wrongdoing under Penal Code Section 39.03. I'm going to read 39.03 to you, and you decide if this sounds like something that was violated when looking at the complaint that was filed on June 13th. Penal Code Section 39.03 states, a public servant acting under color of his office or employment commits an offense if he intentionally subjects another to sexual harassment, period. In this section, sexual harassment means verbal conduct of a sexual nature, submission to which is made a condition of a person's exercise or enjoyment of any right, privilege, power, either explicitly or implicitly. Now, what is alleged in the complaint that was filed June 13th of 2023 on Mr. Gautier's behalf is an allegation that because of the sexual harassment occurring in the closed session of the Leander ISD school board, they are trying to prevent him from fulfilling his responsibilities as a board member, participating in the decision-making of the board. And in that respect, it is making his submission to sexual harassment a condition of exercising his obligations, duties, and rights as an elected board member. And that is clearly prohibited by the Penal Code. Once it is established that the Leander Independent School District is not going to do anything with the complaint, then Mr. Gautier will resort to judicial process because we will have exhausted his administrative remedies. So this is not a matter that has gone away. It has not been resolved. There has not been a determination on the merits of the complaint that nothing of the nature alleged in the complaint took place. In fact, it has been alleged in detail exactly what happened, and the people who are accused have been silent about it. They have not addressed it. They have refused to set the matter for a conference. They have refused to raise the matter as an agenda item. Now, hopefully that will change tonight. We'll have to see. But if it does not, that does not mean that things are ended. Things are only getting started.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have a saying here in Williamson County. We have a saying, obey the law or be removed.
That's right. That is the least that we expect from our elected representatives. And this complaint is very important because, as I've stated, horrors have been happening to our children, and no amount of outreach has been enough to save our children. And so that's why we're here today. It's very important to note, like Mr. Story was saying, that parents like myself, I see a couple others here, have gone to the Leander Police Department and filed the incident reports, because again, we're talking about incidents having to do with like a sexual nature, having to do with Title IX laws. I have filed incident reports of the same type of activity with the Williamson County Sheriff and the Williamson County DA. I am a resident of Travis County. So I'd like to remind Leander Independent School District, for all the things that they've done to my children in particular, that you must obey the law. At some point or another, you will be held accountable. And surprise, you cannot get rid of me. You cannot get rid of us. And I'm just completely and utterly just disappointed that another attempt has been made in order to confuse the public as to where this meeting is being held, to spend more money that we don't have when you're treating our CNS workers, our bus drivers, our custodians. As one of the reports stated, the 77-year-old custodian from Leander Middle School said that they are being treated less than animals by not giving them the proper air conditioning in this 100+ degree weather. I'll let you all hear from Ms. Slate.
Hello, good evening. My name is Christy Slate. I am the chapter chair for Moms for Liberty Williamson County chapter. We are moms and dads and grandparents and concerned community members. And like Mr. Story said, we do not co-parent with the government. We defend parental rights at all levels of government and hold our elected officials accountable for their actions. We fight every day to protect the children of our community from being sexualized and indoctrinated at their schools. We believe a wholesome academic education should be every school's priority. Today, we are here to speak out against the Leander ISD trustees who have violated the ethics of their office and their district by allegedly sexually harassing a colleague, an elected official, Mr. Gaudier, on the LISD school board. Trustee Gloria Gonzalez Deloquia, her behavior of harassment and the passive inaction of other board members is highly inappropriate. They are to set an example for the students of Leander ISD, exemplifying the 10 ethical principles and the Leander way, which are easily found on the school district's website. They have the responsibility to uphold their own policy, BBF Local, on board ethics. It states under integrity of character, I will strive to be an example to the students, faculty, and community by upholding the ethical principles of the district and the standards of propriety of our community. And it also says, I will accord others the respect I wish for myself. They have fallen short and owe it to the Leander ISD community to own up to their actions, to publicly apologize to Trustee Gautier, and resign from their positions on the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
I would like to say thank you to everyone for coming to Concordia University, for allowing us an indoor space. One of our mamas is pregnant, and we just thank you all so much for your compassion. We implore you to please continue advocating for our children. Lots of us have gone to the Capitol and worked with our state representatives, senators, and highest stages of government to make sure that the penal code 43.24, which gives places like Leander Independent School District a loophole to dare give pedophilia and obscenities as part of their instructional resources, as part of their instructional materials or books. That's going to end. We have HB 900 coming into effect, and we demand accountability. We will not wait another school year before things start changing in the school district. That is why this particular complaint of sexual harassment allegedly happening in one of the last of the school years in May, school board meeting in closed session, is very important that we do not just let them continue and hide. This message, I know everybody's got to go. The school board meeting has started, is for the parents who speak Spanish. They are so important. Our families maybe have no ideas most of the time what's happening. Padres, por favor, es muy importante de que ustedes pongan atención a los libros de que les están dando aquí a los niños y a sus hijos en las escuelas. Algunos de esos libros tienen muy mal fotos, tienen cochinadas, y les están negando a nuestros hijos una educación de buena calidad. Es tiempo de que nosotros nos involucramos y también hay que continuar a hacer más cambio y exigir que traten a nuestros hijos bien, que les den buenos materiales y que ustedes tengan abogados como yo que los pueda ayudar. Me llamo Perla Muñoz Hopkins. Por favor, síganme y yo les quiero ayudar a cualquier padre, no nomás del estado de Texas, pero a través de todo el país. Así que muchas gracias. Thank you, everybody, and bless you. Please remember that we've already been cursed at as we were approaching the steps. So they'll be looking at anything to not have some of you speak that are signed up. So bless you all. Okay, bye-bye.